All right, what's up everybody? Landan with LMR.com. In this video, we're gonna talk about dyno correction factors. I've been wanting to talk about this, probably ever since we got that 2024 GT. You know, we were kind of calling all that stuff out to give people a little bit better understanding, but wanted to come in here and kind of make a itemized video for this topic. We're not gonna get in the weeds because this is a topic where you can easily get lost and go on forever, it seems. But whenever you're watching our dyno videos, you're watching another dyno video, or you're just simply looking at a dyno graph posted to the internet, you may notice up here CF, SAE smoothing, and then a number, okay? Well, that's correction factor, SAE, and then the smoothing is 5. We'll talk about smoothing towards the end of the video, but SAE is the standard. It's J1397. That's just a Society of Automotive Engineers standard. That's probably one of the gold standards in today's time. You also see STD, which stands for standard, or standard correction factor, and then you'll also see uncorrected. Uncorrected is not a correction. It's basically what the car's making at that time in those atmospheric conditions. So that's kind of what that stuff means. And then smoothing, there'll be a range from 0 to 5. Like I said, we'll touch base on that here in just a moment. But the reason why there's correction factors, again, is to form some sort of standard end result for engine power, be it horsepower and torque. And theoretically, you would think that with SAE or STD, you could dyno a car here in Waco, Texas, and then you could dyno a car, let's say, in Washington State or wherever the case may be. And that same car, it should make the same amount of power or close to the same amount of power. Well, I'll be the first to tell you, our dyno has moved spots 3 different times since we've had it. And we've dynoed a few cars multiple times in the different locations with no modification changes, and the car don't make the same amount of power. Do they get close? Sure. There's other variables we have to consider here, okay? If we were to still take one of these correction factors, we dynoed a car here in Texas in the dead of July or August. It's hot as hell outside. The computer may pull a little bit of timing. The correction factor is not going to know that. It's just going to know how fast that drum was turning and what it's able to calculate based off of its predetermined parameters for the SAE or STD correction factor. So we could take that same car, dyno it in the dead of winter, December, January, February. The computer may not pull any timing. And if it doesn't, it's naturally going to make more power regardless of the correction factor. So that's one small variable you have to consider with this correction factor stuff. But anyways, let's get into it. We'll first start off with uncorrected. Uncorrected, that's pretty simple. There's no calculation at all. Uncorrected means whatever the car's result is, be it horsepower and torque, that's what the car is making at that particular time in those particular conditions. So every single day or time of day, time of year, that is always going to differ no matter what. That is the simplest of them all because it's not really a correction, it's just results. But again, nothing is taken into consideration when you select uncorrected as your result here in your dyno software. The next one we'll talk about is SAE. SAE, I would arguably say, is the gold standard in today's time. And the reason why I say that is because if you were to go look at auto manufacturers' brochures or their website, whatever the case may be, and you see their horsepower and their torque displayed for the engines that they advertise, you'll probably see a little asterisk or a symbol beside them to tell you to reference fine print. Well, if you reference that fine print, it's going to tell you that results determined from SAE J1349 standard. So that's why I say that the SAE J1349 standard or correction factor is the gold standard in today's time. However, folks still use the standard correction factor. It's just simply STD. It's a lot older of a standard by the Society of Automotive Engineers, not necessarily used amongst the automotive manufacturers, but dyno operators still use the standard correction factor simply because of how it calculates the results, and you'll know why here in just a second. With SAE, I wrote this down so I didn't forget, but the way the SAE correction works is it accounts for an ambient temperature of 77 degrees, 29.23 inches of mercury, that's your barometric pressure, and then 0% relative humidity. All right, so STD or J607 takes into consideration in its calculation an ambient temperature of 60 degrees, 29.92 inches of mercury, and then 0% relative humidity. So you're probably thinking right away, well, it's calculating a lower ambient temp and it's calculating higher pressure. So what does that mean? It's gonna make more power. You're going to see a gain in power from SAE to STD. So why do dyno operators use that? Well, if you make more power, you're gonna be happier at your dyno day or whatever it is that you're doing. Take that with a grain of salt. okay? We always use SAE, again, because we believe that is the gold standard. We see automotive manufacturers using it, so that's what we're going to use. The next thing we want to talk about is the smoothing. So in the simplest of terms, smoothing refers to how smooth the graph is displayed whenever you see a result. And if you were to change that, if you were to lower that number, be it 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, your graph does not appear near as clean. This looks very, very ugly, for lack of a better word. When you do that, it's basically supplying more detail of the run by lowering the smoothing number. So that will change the result. It's negligible. You know, you may see plus or minus a few horsepower and plus or minus a few torque, but it does change the number. A lot of folks don't use anything under 5 simply because it just makes the graph look absolutely terrible. And while we're talking about this, it's gonna be easy enough for me to change it. I'll change it to a smoothing 0, and you can see just how ugly the graph gets. I forgot how to change it. Oh, here we go. You know, you probably think it's something wrong with the car, and all it's doing is it's looking at the run in a little bit greater detail. So that's all it's doing. So smoothing 0, on this particular car here, we're looking at a 2013 bone stock GT500. Smoothing 0, SAE correction factor. It made 581.4 horsepower, 6,800 the RPM doesn't matter. Torque 579.3. If we go to smoothing 5, look what happens. 568.7 horsepower, 573.4 pound-feet of torque. And all along the way here, we can micromanage this. We can go to 4. Guess what? A little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque. We can go to 3. A little more power, a little more torque. Okay, you see where I'm going with this? Smoothing 2, a little more power, a little more torque. There's small increments each time. And you're usually only going to see a larger difference, fluctuation between the smoothing numbers with higher horsepower cars. All right, so we're back over here to SAE smoothing 5. Remember, 568.7, 573.4 horsepower torque. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna change it to uncorrected. Again, that's no calculation. That is straight up what the car is making at that time, at that day. 557.3 horsepower, 561.9 torque. When we made that pull, it was 81 degrees outside, 47.53% humidity. We also made that pull with the car heat soaked as all get out. I had just drove it around the block because we had just returned to stock, so it needed some drive time, and it was hot. It was completely heat soaked. Blower head unit was 160 plus degrees. You know, you had the heat soak from the engine. You get what I'm going with here. But you see the drop in power just by going from SAE to uncorrected. So now let's jump over here and get into the standard correction factor. 580.2 horsepower, 585 pound-feet of torque. So pretty good bump just by changing a correction factor. This can also get more exaggerated and you'll see different changes, again, based off of the variables I discussed in the earlier portion of the video. So just because we can and we're here, let's pull up the run for this same GT500, but giving it time to cool down all the way, get it up to operating temp, and then make a dyno run. Complete and total difference in the results because there wasn't heat soak. So since we left off with standard smoothing, we're gonna start there. 628.9 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. All right, so let's back that down to SAE, 616.2 horsepower, 612.4 pound-feet of torque, and then uncorrected, which we had some good conditions that morning when we downloaded that car. It was 75.77 degrees, 54.83% humidity. Pressure for this one was 29.24 inches of mercury. But uncorrected in those conditions, the car is making 605 horsepower and then 601.3 pound-feet of torque. So you tell me, if a dyno operator is gonna tell you, oh shoot, you know, your car made 605 horsepower, 601.3 pound-feet of torque, or is he gonna come over here, he's gonna select standard correction factor and he's gonna tell you, shoot man, your car's making great power, 628.9 horsepower, 625 pound-feet of torque. So there you go, probably a little silly, but I get it. Who really cares at the end of the day? But I think it's worth the knowledge, all right? A lot of us don't know this stuff. A lot of us do. And for us to be able to kind of have the opportunity and the resources here to explain this stuff to you, we thought, what the heck, let's do it. So hopefully that was some sort of education. I know we kind of jumped across the board and jumped across some spots by comparing the two different runs. But I think what you can take away from this is there is an obvious change in how you look at the result, how you look at the dyno graph, be it uncorrected, SAE correction factor, or STD correction factor. And I've also have been witness of uncorrected numbers making more power than standard correction because it's a low ambient temp, it's a little bit higher pressure, and the humidity may not be 0%, but the humidity is still extremely low, and that engine is performing exceptionally well. Because we also hear the term density altitude, which we're not going to get in the rabbit hole of that, but that is a metric to consider, for engine performance. Whenever you're out at the drag strip, or, oh shoot, man, DA is going to be negative 1400 at 9 o'clock p.m. Lower the DA, better the engine is going to perform, simply just due to atmospheric conditions. There you go, correction factors, kind of how the smoothing affects the graph a little bit. There it all is in a nutshell. So if you're bragging about your dyno numbers, there you go. Tell your dyno operator, I want to see all three of them. Get uncorrected, get SAE, and get STD, because kind of going back to that GT500 run of it heat soaked, quite frankly, that's the most accurate result that you could get, because cooling it off and just getting it up to operating temp and making a run and saying I made XYZ power, well, that's great, but that was my hero run. That was the run that it made at that time, and it's never gonna make that again unless I let it cool off and get back to operating temp. Because as soon as I go driving on the street, get to the stoplight, go to the next stoplight, I romp on it a little bit, it's heat soaked. It's making 568 horsepower, not 612 or 616 horsepower, whatever it was, referencing the SAE correction numbers. So I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Comment below what you think. Give us your input on it. A lot of YouTube engineers out there. We'd love to hear from you. If you find value in what we're doing, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And until we see you in the next one, for all things dyno, keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, LMR.com.